For this project, I made a mirrored vase, and I have a couple of inspirational pics for you. I also took some pictures of different floral arrangements. Since fall is around the corner, I thought this would make a beautiful seasonal piece for any decor, as well as a beautiful glam piece year round. So, a quick update. We should know something about the house this coming Thursday. I'm really excited. So I checked in a few days ago and there still wasn't anyone that's placed a bid higher. That's where we are, and as promised, I will keep you updated as I find out, and of course I will vlog if and when we close the deal. All right, so back to the project. For this project, I start out by tracing the design that I want on a piece of foam board. I use a hula hoop for my design, but you can use a bowl or a pizza pan, whatever you have in your home that has that large curve. After I trace my line, I cut out my pattern. I'll be using my glass cutter on two 8x10 mirrors from Dollar Tree. Now I lay my pattern on my first mirror and I trace out the pattern onto my mirror with a pencil. Before you cut, you want to be sure to lay your mirror on a table or countertop, and you want to be sure to add some cushion under your mirror, such as a towel or newspaper, or just a piece of foam board works great. And this is to help absorb any shock, and you're less likely to fracture your glass when you're applying pressure to score your line. I couldn't clearly see the line, so I got off track a couple of times. So my cuts are not a perfect match. After I was finished, I thought, I could have used white acrylic paint to trace my line and it would have been a lot easier to follow, but at that point it was a little too late for me. But I want to let you know that that's a mistake I made that would probably help you. Cut the glass, I grip the cutter with both hands. I'll follow the line as best as I could, or I should say I scored my line, because this cutter doesn't actually cut the glass, it just scores it. So here's the part you'll snap the glass into two pieces. You want to set your mirror on the edge of a table and be sure to wear gloves for this part. Now take the end of your tool and just start tapping along the scored line, and it'll make that area weak. The more you tap, the weaker it is. I like to tap mine for a minute or two. I noticed the more I tapped, I could just touch to grab it. I mean, just barely touch it, and the mirror would just snap so easy. I repeat this for the other side, and I do another mirror the same way, my second mirror. And I'll be sure to link a easy to follow how to cut glass video in case this isn't easy to follow. So now I go back to my foam board where I had traced the hula hoop. So I start tracing out the mirrors I just cut out, and I trace each mirror because, again, these are not exactly the same exact size. After I've traced out my mirrors on my foam board, I go to cut along my lines, and I want to let you know you want to cut on the inside of your trace lines. Once that's done, you can use any glue that you choose. I use the clear Gorilla Glue to adhere the foam backing to each mirror. To create the sides of my vase, I cut 2 strips of cardboard and 2 strips of foam board from Dollar Tree. All my pieces are 2.5 inches wide and 12 inches long. I bend all my pieces just, with my hands, and I get those ready to glue on. You can make yours wider or thinner if you'd like, and I'll show you why you might want to make them thinner here in just a moment. Using my clear Gorilla Glue, I go along the edges of the back of my mirror, following beside my foam board, and then I go over that again with some hot glue, and I glue my cardboard onto my mirror. After my cardboard is secured to the mirror, I add some more glue to the other side of the board as well. I let it sit for a few seconds or a couple of minutes. I grab it and make sure it's stiff and it seems secure, so I go ahead and I do my other side. Now I just glue my foam board pieces on the back of the cardboard just for extra durability. Now, as I mentioned, I do need to let you know this. As I mentioned, my foam board pieces were originally 2.5 inches wide, but I did trim off an extra little, very small, very small piece. And this is so I can make a rim or a wall. I just bend the strip so that it would fit in that crease and then I glue it in. Now I can add glue along that rim or wall that I just made and glue my big mirror onto that. And so that's it for the build of this project. So for the sides, I go with these small craft mirrors from Hobby Lobby, and I have 2 packs of each size, and this is 4 packs total, and I'll be sure to put the size and the count up here on the screen for you. If I had to cut my boards a little bit thinner, I wouldn't need this many mirrors. Or you could, if you don't have any mirrors, you could use bling, you could use gems. There's so many different things you could use to make this work. I hot glued the big mirrors in the center of my board, just lined up in a row, and then I go along the sides of those with my small mirrors. And that's it. This is how this project turned out, and I absolutely love it. So I go ahead and I stick some flowers in there, and now this project is finished. I hope you enjoyed this project, and thank everyone so much for watching. I'm so grateful from the bottom of my heart. Thank you all so much. This week's quote comes from Bev Gardner, and her says, "The art of being happy lies in the power of extracting happiness from common things." That is so true. Thank you, Bev, for sharing that. And if you have a message you want to share or a quote, just leave it in the comments below next to the word quote. And thank you so much for watching. I love you with all of my heart, and I'll see you very soon in another video. Bye, y'all.